Going on, Mark. Welcome everybody to Bajerski Live, and at the very same time, Instagram Live. Welcome everybody. If the darkness is doing its best to suppress and to shadow ban me, then it's up to me to be more creative and to make more of an effort. And just be wiser and box clever. So welcome 13 beautiful souls on Instagram Live. And at this moment, there are 21 beautiful souls on YouTube. Bear in mind, there's 11,000 followers on Instagram and 188,000 followers on YouTube. So if that doesn't tell you alone that I'm shadow banned, then I don't think nothing will. Question is, why am I shadow banned? Why should a healer be shadow banned? How can a healer be so dangerous to be shadow banned? Could it be that he simply said to people that he felt that taking the Britney Spears 3 Dart Finish 3 years ago before it came out, and he felt very nervous and said he felt that there was something very wrong with all of this. The fact that all the ferrets that were tested with that Britney Spears all died, that made sense that if they all died, then maybe there's something to think about. Why would any animal be any different than human? Oh, it's just a rat. It's just a mouse. It's not a human being. Well, then why test on rats and mices? You know? But this is the darkness. This is how it weaves its darkness around. It overshadows us. And the way I talk about this is in simplistic terms, and that is the playground. The playground effect to me is exactly what's happening at any given moment. I'll give you a great for instance. So what does the playground effect actually mean? Well, imagine everybody's in the playground, okay? And all of a sudden there's a bin that everybody uses. And that bin is for rubbish and paper and blowing your nose and throwing it in there. Everybody's in the playground. Then all of a sudden there's a scream and everybody's frightened and everybody smells something. It's weird. The smoke, where's it coming from? And the scream is little Jenny sees smoke coming out of the bin. So she's frightened. Then everybody else turns because they're all frightened and they can see the smoke and they all run and start screaming, and the teacher's freaking out because this bin is now becoming more and more smoking, and all of a sudden, woof, it sets on fire. Now everybody's panicking. The teachers are running and screaming, ringing for the police and telling everybody. Everybody doesn't know what to do. They're all in confusion. Where should I go? What should I do? And then all of a sudden, the fire brigade come and they put the fire out and everything's okay. Within that time of that happening, little Billy had caused some great harm to little Jane. What Billy did was he went into a little lunch box and stole her food, and then went into a satchel and took out some money and some of her toys and stole them. Jane started crying, and as she was crying, Billy realized he needed to do something so that nobody saw Jane crying. So Billy ran over and with his box of matches, he set on fire the bin. Now, Jane's crying. Jane runs to the teacher after crying, and the teacher says, look, we've got more important problems to figure out. We've got to sort this out. Look at the bin. How did it start? I'm sorry, Jane, but your issue isn't as big an issue as the bin. So Billy's smiling, knowing what he's just done is the greatest sleight of hand, trickster, smoke and mirrors, perfectly done in a way that if that bin wasn't burnt and everybody focused on Jane, And everybody ran over to Jane and said, "Are you all right?" And Jane says, "Billy's just stolen and hit me and stole my food and went into my satchel." Then everybody would be focused on that. And the teachers would all run over to that particular moment. And then Billy would be in big trouble. And that is the playground effect, my dear friends. Everything that's happening on your mainstream media is Billy, the bully, who knows that he has to sleight and hand you. He has to trick you into believing something is far more important to look at than what Billy or the government is actually doing. Now, this happens every single day, every moment of the day. When you look deep into how politics is and how things are created and made, it's all lies. It's a cesspit. It's a playground filled with bullies whose only intention is to rob, steal, and destroy. And more people are recognizing this playground effect. They're recognizing that those who are deceiving, the deceivers of this world, are the very people who create the 9/11, who create the bombings, who create all of these things that are done in certain ways. I'll give you another, for instance. The playground effect is that Billy has become more wise now. And Billy will not do the lighting of the bin anymore, because there could be somebody sees him do it. So what Billy does is then bullies somebody into being his friend. And he can do this in one or two ways. He can go up to them and say, "Look, if you want me to be your friend and not beat you up, then you're going to do this for me. You're going to light that bin for me. Okay? Hang on. I'm not going to do that. You can beat me up. It's okay." So he watches this boy, and he watches him all the time until this boy slips up and does something. Or Billy might just put something in his path that makes the little boy do something that he shouldn't do. Now, Billy goes up to him and says, "I saw what you just did then. And if you don't do what I tell you, I'm going to go and tell the teachers and everybody in this playground what you did." That is the playground effect. And from being the grand mafia, from being the greatest mafia organization in the world, you always find that the head, the boss, the godfather, only needs to nod his head and the rest will do his bidding. And that is what government is. Now, when you go deeper into this and you go into a state of Billy is actually not really the problem per se. The problem is what is controlling Billy, and it's a controlling force. The controlling force is evil, it's darkness, it's attachment, it's demonic, it's all of those things, it's satanic. So what it does, so when you look at it in a principle of what is the demonic government, what is it? Is it Billy? No, it's not Billy. Is it the government? Is it the building? Is it it's not the building. The building doesn't do anything. It's an energy. It's not that one Tony Blair. It's not the building and the microphone that he's speaking to saying that we need to kill Saddam Hussein because he's got weapons of mass destruction. Clearly, all lies. Why? Because these people have been compromised. All of them. They're compromised. They're told to do something by an entity that is Billy. And Billy is controlled by the entity, by darkness. And that could be from being a child growing up, being in this energy, being in this frequency of hate, bullying, doing the worst things, creating the destroying, the destruction. I create destruction. I want to cause as much pain and suffering And this is evil. This is darkness. And that's why there's a battle between light and dark. You cannot say it's Tony Blair. It's the darkness that weaves itself within him and manipulates him because of whatever he's done in his life. Whatever point he sold his soul. And now he will be forever in the dark, to be pulled out under a stone whenever he's needed to do the bidding of darkness. And the charade, the lies, the manipulations, the acting of these people are second to none. Terrible actors, but it's a perfect scenario. Get a man in a suit and he can tell the world that we need to do this and we need these cards. We need no more money. We need to change this world. We need to stop you from doing this because we're saving the world. We're saving you for your safety. All of these things is Billy creating his evil world, his evil playground. And that's where we are right now. To simplify things down, we need to see it as a playground. The playground effect happens every single moment of every day. Smoke and mirrors, bread and circuses, everything to distract all the children who are just trying to get on with life so that they can destroy. And they destroy in ways that we have no idea. We believe that that's just an accident. We believe that that can't possibly happen. We could never do that. Well, you couldn't do it because you wouldn't do it. Because you wouldn't do it doesn't mean that Billy wouldn't do it. Why do you always measure yourself up to Billy? Why do you always measure yourself up to the government and to the Tony Blairs and the Justin Trudeaus? These are the bullies of this world that would do it, that would have no qualms of doing anything to create the destruction of the world. Because by creating destruction, you create fear. You create minions, people who are frightened and scared in fear. When you fear the playground, when all the playground's scared as hell, then you have the power over that playground. And then you live in your kingdom of power of evil. These people are pure evil. When you actually open Billy up and see that consciousness inside Billy, Billy is not of the same consciousness as you and I. Justin Trudeau has not the same consciousness as you and I, nor Blair, nor all the rest of them in those positions, because you can only get into those positions of power by that very consciousness, which is pure, concentrated evil. Evil that will do anything because it's nil and void of empathy, love, truth, kindness, and caring. Once you understand that, no single soul which comes from the same place as you, which is of love and healing, cannot be in a point or on a point of giving orders, telling people what they should and shouldn't do. That goes against you and I. That's why we would never want to stand up and tell somebody what to do. And you must do this and you must do that. It can never happen and it will never happen. It will never happen. And thus, evil always continues because evil is always scrambling. Billy is always scrambling to be that frequency of evil, fear, anger, rage, bitterness, jealousy. All of them frequencies that are within these people that they hide from the world and show you a suit and that I am a government official, that they are amazing. They are the worst scum. They are the worst evil that you could ever imagine. And they hide behind a suit. They hide behind this false persona of I am doing this for the greater good. They do nothing for the greater good. What they do is cause destruction, death, and sickness. And all you need to do is look at the world right now, because all you have now around you is death, fear, destruction, sickness, and the worst poisons that is given to humanity every day. Billy wants to make everybody sick. How does he do that? He cuts them. And when they're bleeding, he says, it's okay. I've got a Band-Aid for you. But what you don't know is that what he puts on that Band-Aid is going to make you even more sick. So you put the Band-Aid on thinking the bleeding stopped, where what's on that Band-Aid is poison that's going into you, is now going to make you sick for the rest of your life. Billy is not stupid. Billy doesn't help. Billy is never caring. Billy is never wanting to make you feel better, but he tells you he does. This is the playground effect. It is important that you understand this. And the only way you can break free from that is reject Billy. Turn away from him and say, you have no power over me. Turn away from your governments. Turn away from the officials that are playing this game to bring you in, to make you believe it's important where it's not. Voting does not do anything other than bring you into the cesspit of evil. When you vote, you are voting evil in. So you reject it. You walk away from it and you create your own life, your own happiness, your own joy. You create your own well-being. You sweep your doorstep and you sweep everybody else's if they need a helping hand. And then you start to give. You grow plants, you grow food in your garden. You take that food and you share it with your friends who need it, or your community. You do your best by spreading truth and love and helping and caring. That is the only way we can kill the darkness from around us. It will never die. Darkness is always here. The playground effect is part of the journey that we walk. It is the experience that we are and have been and always will be. Yin and yang, light and dark, good and bad is always here. The point being is how we overcome and grow stronger than. No one has the power over me. No one has the power over me. If you focus on government, if you start believing in one man telling you, I'm going to save the world, you are being pulled back into that very same energy. There is no man on this planet that can save anything in this world. It is a joint effect that everybody does their best, creates, and starts to realize that the government has created a program, and a program that from birth till this moment, till the day you die, you are in. It tells you how to think, how to feel, what to eat, what not to eat, what to rub on your skin, what not to rub on your skin. And by way of not telling you is a way of not telling you. So they won't talk about organic fruit and vegetables. They will put in certain places of position the biggest, the fattest, the most disgusting human beings in that place of position where you would look and say, hang on a minute, I'm going to the gym and I'm going to learn to be a bodybuilder. And a guy comes out 50 stone. He can't breathe. He can't walk. He's just fat. And he says, I'm going to be your coach for the next month. What would you do? You would laugh, or you would be in shock and you would say, listen, mate, I think I need somebody else who's built with muscle, who's fit and healthy. But my God, man, mate, you aren't able to do that. If you can see that, then why can't you see that the government employs people who have no clue how to create? They have no clue about health. They have no clue about business. That's why they lose everything. They lose all their money, but they don't lose it. And it isn't that they're unhealthy because they want somebody unhealthy. They want them there because they don't want health. They want people who have no idea about business, because if you have idea about business, you're going to say, hey, mate, we know what you're doing. You are siphoning out of all of those people's blood, sweat, tears, suffering that have to put into that pot of gold that you're siphoning out every single moment of the day by saying, we've got a war, we need to take this money. We've got a problem, we've got a virus, we need to take this money out of this pot. Because everything is about how to siphon your tax. It's not tax, they've robbed you from money legally. They have robbed you and I every day of our life till the moment we die. And when we die, they will rob you again when you're dead, because they are the biggest parasite organization. And the mafia in Sicily look at them as their dream goal, to be in that position, to be an absolute robber, but to be able to do it legally. And that is what your government is. It's a playground mafia. And that's where I'll leave it today. Have a great day, guys. Love you all.